Hi, I'm Dr. Christina Colclough and I'm one of the team behind WeClock, the app that's been designed for workers, by workers, to give work a reality check. WeClock can help us actually log what are the modern conditions of work, how far are people commuting, how far are they travelling for work, are they paid for this time? Also, do we get the breaks that we need? How much are we working on our apps outside of working hours? And much, much more. Best thing about WeClock is all of this data is yours and yours only. No third-party data snooping, nobody else has access, only the people you choose to share it with. Work together with your colleagues, with your organisers and with your members to champion change and give work a reality check. So we've downloaded WeClock and here you can see some of the great things that we can do. Daily movement. We can show when we were moving, when we were sitting down. This can be really important to prove if we're getting our breaks or not. This is the work app usage and you can see here today I'm tracking Gmail and Twitter. And look at this, I have had the screen on throughout that day for 409 minutes. I checked the screen 165 times during the day and I used my work apps for 53 minutes. But what's interesting is when did I actually use those work apps? And you can see I was doing that way beyond my normal working hours. Location and distance, again, a really ace one to be able to have to prove where you were, when you were there, what route you had to take during the day, but also because you can press a timestamp here, you can prove what time you entered a certain location and left again. This will prove your working hours. We have a commute time function here, so we can measure how far are you actually having to commute and how long does it take. Combine that with the work app usage and you can prove if you're working whilst commuting, well, isn't that working time? And then do you know what? We can add notes here about the working day. This will be able to give us some really good and interesting quick oversights. Do you feel overworked? Yes, I do, big time. Have I worked for more time than I was paid for today? Yes, again today. I would like to say a little bit more, and then this gets logged on your phone. And then what happens is you can share that with your union, so they, on your behalf, can fight for better conditions. WeClock is all about well-being, it's about combating wage theft, and the beauty of all of this is that it's our app, our data. Nobody else has access to it.
So WeClock really represents one of our best efforts yet over the 10 years at Guardian Project in this type of collaboration. And we've been thinking for actually about 5 years about how to build tech for workers and what that means. And really one of the inspirations is that, with a typical smartphone, you have all these amazing sensors, S-E-N-S-O-R-S, sensors, that enable reading data that's kind of invisible data from around us, from infrared and light to motion and gravity and radio waves from GPS satellites, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, now to wearable signals from something on your wrist. There's all of these inputs that are useful, valuable data, and sort of for-profit product companies know this, right? This is the sort of metadata that Google and others use to advertise towards you, and companies like Fitbit, right, and Apple Watch, Apple with their watch understand this. And what we've understood is that this can be very valuable for advocacy, be it human rights in an evidence gathering process, such as we've worked on with Witness and our Proof Mode app, which gathers these sensors for adding evidence, or for WeClock, which gathers the data that you choose into on device, a local device, without any cloud or third-party trackers or any centralized service, but stores and gathers data here, organizes it, processes it, and prepares it for you to share it in a way that you choose. So, the app is pretty straightforward and allows you to set it up and uses the sensors on your phone to collect data that you can use for change. We first ask the user, about their day. Where do they work? What time do they work generally? Which days of the week? And so we build this profile. Again, all of this stays on the device. It's very important that the privacy of the worker is maintained because they're already under so much surveillance in the workplace through cameras and data, and increasingly kind of forced into programs of wearables and signals, and we didn't want to replicate that with what was supposedly our beneficial technology. So, for instance, as we go through the setup process, the users ask, do you want to track your location? Do you want to track time? Do you want us to access app usage and monitor which work apps you use? And so we allow the worker to choose different things that they can track, and then they're given this sort of menu here of all of the studies or services they've enabled for tracking, right? And so I can track my movement and work app usage, location, commute time. And all of this data is sort of being stored in real time on your device, securely within a PIN or biometric, lockable app. None of the data leaves this device until you're ready to share data for a specific day. So as an example, I might want to track my movement for a specific day. And this is showing my up and down of movement of today. And perhaps I've, have some issue with how much time I get to walk and move versus sit at this desk all day. I can then go in and choose a specific day or range of time. And I can choose, for the last week, let's say. And now I have that data available to share, and I can select to share that data as a compressed CSV, comma, separated value, simple format over Signal or WhatsApp or Google Drive or anything like that. It may seem like a simple concept, but we wrapped it up in a very powerful, low battery impact, privacy-preserving app that then produces data in a format that's easily parsable. And then we've also provided code in R and soon Python and other easy scripting languages, so you could aggregate data from a bunch of trusted sources of this data, workers you're advocating for. That data can be sent to a trusted processor over Signal, WhatsApp, who can then take that data, use open source tools and scripts such as the ones we're providing and we'll be providing more of in our open source project, and produce insights about, were there enough breaks in working, and how long was the commute, and were two workers too close together. The detail and resolution we provide is much greater than you could get from a typical sort of export of data from Google. And you never have to turn this data over to any third party first in order to get it. We provide this as an open source project on GitLab. Under the Spotlight project name is our open source project. And it's available for Android and in beta as for iOS and, most importantly, Apple Watch. So we've also begun integrating wearable support because some workers can't bring a phone or use a phone in the workplace, but they can wear a watch. And so with the watch, you can start and stop your commute and enable, just like a workout, right? And we integrate with the Apple Health Kit in that context as well. So all of these things are available completely open source, no third-party trackers, no data leaving your device until you manually decide to choose and leave that data. And that really preserves the integrity of what we're doing and the dignity of the worker and empowers them to choose what to share, how and when, and easily wipe all of this data or lock it up and secure it as well. So that's our tech demo. Check it out at WeClock.it and you can find links to all of the source code there as well. I'm Nathan Freitas with Guardian Project.